I'd like to start today's conference with a numbers update. As of this morning, we have 26,172 cases of COVID-19, 1,644 hospitalizations, and 335 deaths. The state has had 325 outbreaks, of which 131 are active. So that's 1,063 new cases and 9 more deaths since Friday. I have the unfortunate task of once again announcing our numbers are at an all-time high. Last week in the Kansas City area, the KC metro area recorded more than 400 new COVID cases each day, 4 days in a row. And as we're learning, this virus doesn't affect just our older population. The Wichita Eagle has reported that Wichita hospitals have seen the average age of their patients decreasing. Ascension Via Christi, which reported an all-time high of COVID-19 patients in their 30s this past week, said the median age of discharged patients is dropping. In April, the median age was 64, and now in July, it is 52. KDHE is reporting the average age of COVID-19 cases is now 37. Those are all cases, not just the ones that were hospitalized. As Secretary Norman said last week, the average age of cases in Kansas is getting younger all the time. If we continue this trajectory, I will have no other choice than to recommend that we move back to phase 2 of the Ad Astra plan to reopen Kansas by next week. That means mass gatherings would be limited again to 15 individuals, and that bars and nightclubs would need to close. I do not want to go backwards. We can and we must do better. We cannot pretend this virus is disappearing with the summer heat, and we cannot pretend it doesn't hurt Kansans, because it does. This virus also doesn't stop at county lines, rural or urban. As of this morning, 103 out of 105 counties have at least one positive case. Particularly troubling is the rise in the number of cases in the counties surrounding Wichita. Sumner County now has 88 cases. That's 10 more cases since Friday. Butler County is up 15 cases since Friday, bringing its total to 187. COVID-19 doesn't stop at state lines either. Montgomery County, right on the southern border of Kansas, near Oklahoma, has seen an increase of 13 cases since Friday. We've got to do better than this. Elected leaders in Kansas cannot continue to sit back in silence. The health and safety of Kansans depend on it. Let me remind everyone that this is not a partisan issue. Just recently, in Ohio and Indiana, Republican governors decided to mandate masks statewide because they know it works. They know that masks minimize the transmission of the virus. And because that's what real leaders do. They take action. It's why I've fought to protect Kansans since the beginning of this pandemic, and I will continue to do so. And with that, I'll take some questions.
Yes, Governor, what are you planning then, if this doesn't improve, to issue an order saying bars must close and gatherings must be limited to 15? Obviously understanding that local governments, local counties can do their own thing?
Yeah, we will continue to monitor the situation this week, and then we'll make a decision whether to issue another executive order next week.
What's your sense of the reason for this? Are people not wearing masks, or are people associating with them in crowds? Maybe they shouldn't?
Well, I think we know that the use of masks, particularly when it's general and all over, works. It really does stem the spread of the virus. But mass gatherings is another huge issue. And I think that we have seen, both in Kansas and then certainly across the country, that people have really gotten a little bit apathetic about maintaining social distance and avoiding mass gatherings. And from that, we're seeing a huge spike. We're seeing it here in Kansas, and we're seeing it all across the country.
Do you see the rise in cases splashing back on the Republican leadership that wouldn't let you take the steps you wanted to take to keep the state?
Well, I think the fact that we don't have a statewide mask order has been a problem. We have seen, it makes it very, very difficult, quite honestly, for local officials. For them to have to take what is, overtly an unpopular action when it's that close. I'm glad to take those unpopular actions and just get it done, because I also happen to know that most Kansans want a mask mandate. Most Kansans want others to be wearing masks. We know that. We know that anecdotally, and we know it from polling. So I think that it wasn't helpful to take away the ability to just provide that direction for counties and really take the issue out of their hands so that they did not have to make any of those decisions. I'd say the same thing about the school board.
Step forward a little bit. We're going to have K-12 schools starting, but maybe more importantly, the colleges are going to bring people back to campuses. And you may be able to enforce a mask mandate on the campus, but I think it's going to be very difficult to do that in fraternity houses, dormitories, and what have you. So are you concerned about what's going to happen in August?
I think I'm concerned, and I know that the university presidents are concerned. Everybody is very concerned about how we can do this and how we can do this safely. And I know while I'm not sure that there's been a final decision made on all of the campuses. I know that there's still lots of conversation going on about it, trying to figure out how, if we can, bring students back onto campus safely. I will note that Douglas County did close their bars again recently, and they actually saw a drop in the number of cases from the previous weeks once they reinstituted that closure. So there are just so many issues and questions. I think what I'm concerned about right now is that we are seeing a significant increase in the significant and consistent increase in the number of cases. And I think about all of the hard work that Kansans did, beginning in March. And it seems like a lot of that work was for naught. And we need to reinstitute that sort of enthusiasm and commitment to our own safety and the safety of others around us.
Governor, this weekend, or just yesterday, Secretary Norman tweeted out that he sees the cases are leveling off just a bit, but you're saying that you're seeing a substantial increase in cases. So where is that discrepancy coming from?
Well, I saw that too, and I thought, well, that's really good. But if you dug deeper, asked a further question on that, yes. I mean, if you look at today's numbers over 3 days, that's putting it back down in the 350 per day range, which is less than last week, which was probably over 400 per day. So is there one report that has a decrease? Yes. I hope it's a trend.
So if we don't see any betterment in conditions here, then you go to the 15-person, close the bars and the nightclub. We do another mass. Is there a way to do? The Republicans, they made a mistake. I think they can tell by the charts. Is there a way to give them another chance so that you can get what you think we need?
Every county commission has that opportunity, and a number of them have availed themselves of that opportunity and reversed their initial decision to not mandate masks.
Governor, you though have said, you here today said, suggested it was a mistake not to have a statewide mask mandate. you lifted statewide restrictions, you agreed to this law, and you sound, the last time we talked about the law that allows counties to opt out, you sounded like you felt like you were forced into it. Is that what you're saying? You were forced into that law?
Well, you know, the House Bill 2016 was a result of a compromise reached between my office and the legislature during the special session. And it was at that point that I felt it necessary to compromise because if I had not, then we would have lost, the state would have lost its ability to work with our counties on emergency management issues and to be able to get them the supplies and the assistance that they needed to battle COVID-19. So I just couldn't risk that. You know, and so I felt at that point it was better to go ahead and let the counties have, you know, if I had to weigh being able to help the counties versus being able to mandate to the counties, I felt it was more important to go ahead and make that compromise. And now I'm just asking that folks take a really good look and, you know, the fact that they got the authority to yay or nay an executive order, I'd like them to reconsider some of the decisions that they made.
One more question.
Another executive order or another special session?
We're not there yet.
Is there a plan B for schools?
Well, right now, I think what we're seeing is a lot of schools all across the state, school boards are opting to delay start, which is what we suggested in our executive order, that they delay until after Labor Day. And I think we're seeing all of the larger ones and a lot of the smaller ones are opting to stay. You know, again, you know, that opening date will be dependent upon, you know, the numbers moving in the right direction. So it reinforces the need for people to mask up now and keep their distance from folks and let's stem the spread of the virus.
Thanks.
I'll get you your card now.